is it open? To discussion.
It wasn't morning at all.
Closed session.
Josh's wow. Yeah, it was. Josh's court tomorrow. Thank you. Doing good. City council meeting. I have city council meeting a little bit.
But I was missed. That like you heard, I had a tree. Shane Brown has AAA toilet, you know, all the trees south of me. One of his big suckers. It was
Maybe make 'em crazy.
4:15 in the afternoon, decided to take out my lights, my deck, my
Oh,
new
my.
siding and all that.
Who fires?
Yeah,
Fires
and I
teachers?
came up and dropped off, to the mayor, and because he's been down to my property before, and to, Mitchell and Gary
You just
Thompson.
don't renew the contracts. I understand.
But I talked to the mayor, and he said,
Yeah.
so
What's up?
look at the trees. The fire chief looked at it, said it's a fire hazard and stuff, and so I was kind of patient. I was blatantly parked that day when I pulled in. I just pulled in and parked in front of City Hall, because I'd injured my foot, and I was about to do a lot of,
Yeah, no, I know her very well, but
I mean,
42, right?
stepping in the wrong place at the wrong time on the wrong
We don't
thing.
have anything to do with it.
But I'm walking a little better now.
Good.
But yeah, but I was missed. So I thought I better come up to, but they don't listen. Al, who could have been upset about all the open container liquor, you would vote no every time on that. And I was at the meeting.
Try to look up a little bit.
She was said that we have more OWIs. Well, why wouldn't we, when everything that the city's doing has to do with open container liquor? Hello? I mean, common sense says there's something wrong. No more of the alcohol. Alcohol is what we're doing. I thought she would look and disgusted with the way LJBS is doing. Even, I've called several times. I told them, when I can smell that stink from JBS, all over, everywhere. And rumor has it that until now, yeah, like we're gonna be running their stuff all
I'll find, I've got a place on night
Make
shift
that
for
happen, 'cause nobody's gonna be happy. Cause that once when I called, they said, what's it smell like? I said, it smells like the chemical needs to be put in East Town. Like, I want people coming to town.
Oops. I always have to set it up, but there's always something that happens.
Yeah, that's not easy.
It's never just
Yeah.
easy peasy. We need a new system. We need a new system.
I believe you.
I'm 76, gonna be 77. Multiple bowling alleys, multiple roller skating, multiple swimming pools. The drive-in theater, we used to have so much more. But my culture is American.
But if we got you back, you could finish some of your cases you left over.
Can I speak English?
I'm sure we'll find something.
I've got my birth certificate.
Whoops.
Certified female.
What rate? What rate?
Because I have my birth certificate.
Yeah. You know, when Chris says he's got a job in the fire.
Yeah, our first crossover liaison.
You have to take some EMS classes.
afternoon, gentlemen, how are you?
You remember Chris Cross?
I think we met before, so.
Yeah, I was-
Yeah, Chris
Yeah,
Ackren.
how you doing?
You're wearing the wrong uniform, so.
I know. This is where I live now.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's fine. So, how are
Yeah.
things going?
Great, super good. Yeah, how about you?
I'm retired,
I know.
so I can't complain.
Let Mark deal with the stuff and you can just watch from afar.
It does not suck it all to be
Lob
retired,
bombs.
I'm just putting it out there. So, how do you wanna run this one?
So, they're gonna open it up with the pledge.
Okay.
We have public comments first, so we're
Okay.
gonna jump right in.
All right,
Introduce you, and we'll go
Okay.
from there.
all right,
After you're done, so they can proceed to the short for all those
excellent,
that you
okay,
And then we should be done in a few minutes.
okay. I have about a 2-minute little thing I say, and then you want me to hand you the thing?
That's fine.
Okay, all right, okay. Where you want me to
Anywhere you
sit
want.
anywhere here?
Yep.
All right,
Thank you.
I'll be ready to
Thanks
go.
for coming. Yep, go down the hallway, all the way at the end.
I don't. You just have to know your audience and build accordingly. I'll be right back. You put this stuff up there. Hello, Chris Squared. Hello. How are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good, what's up?
I have a bone to pick with your namesake.
I don't understand what that means. Oh.
So I'm in a house in Englewood. And the guy's telling me about the pickup 2 doors down.
The what? Pickup?
Flat tire, been sitting there on Englewood for 2 weeks. Okay, farming piece of it. We're standing outside his house, he's pointing to the pickup. Right now, here comes the patrol car, goes right by. And I go, okay, I'll write down the license plate number, and I'm sure the officer was on his way to do something. I called it in today.
16 years ago.
Don't worry.
I think it's
It just, nothing got said, he didn't say anything, I didn't say
Was
anything.
it parked on the wrong side? Is that how?
Well, you know, when you're coming up on a truck, when it's facing you, you can see it's got a flat tire.
That doesn't make any difference. You
Okay.
can have a flat tire. I'm just asking.
Okay, so Inglewood has, on that part of Inglewood, it's all permit parking, it's just by the high school.
Oh,
The
okay.
200 blocks, so at the very least, slow down, it's at the school down. So, no, nothing
Oh,
got
is
said.
that your school?
Well, school was that one, this was just, well, this was Friday, so school would have been that one.
Okay.
Because they got out Thursday, right?
Yeah, teachers were there.
Yeah, so nothing got, he didn't say anything, and I didn't, so I just went over down and called it in today. Because I wasn't gonna call it at night, this is Friday night before I got home, running on my errands.
Yeah, I heard some from Brad.
But I just thought, no matter where I go, okay, here's my philosophy for you guys when you get older. Karma,
Older? Yeah, we're already old.
my age, karma and gravity are brother and sister.
Never.
And when you get older, they team up on you. All the stuff that you tease them about growing up, they remember that stuff. And as you get older, exponentially as you age, exponentially gravity gets stronger. You will fall down faster.
Yes.
And when you hit, gravity still is pulling you into the ground.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience.
It's a gravity interface problem.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go. It's a universal factor.
It's true.
So I'm pretty sure it'll go.
Yeah, there's an interest there.
Hi, it's Chief, Mike Benega.
Yeah,
Retired
Hi,
chief.
you're gonna big award tonight.
Yeah, yes, we are, so.
I didn't dress up for you.
That's okay.
I didn't dress up for you.
Somebody
either.
That's okay.
Somebody wore their nice blues. Ugh.
Halfway.
So I didn't
No
know,
time.
I didn't know the police department.
How are you?
Do you guys know each other?
We've met working on this project.
I didn't know the police department, you know, when you get your uniform, they have kids I'm here all night, took your way to the right.
How you doing?
Good. She loves me.
We'll
That-
go back.
Okay. So anyway, welcome to Morristown.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're from Des Moines?
I live in Clyde, yep. I ended my career in Clyde.
And Clyde's completely surrounded in there, right?
Yep, yeah, we got a,
You guys are 2 years with the new Windsor Heights.
we got a couple
Oh, is that?
100 acres to still develop, but we are fenced in, yeah.
I used to live in West Des Moines.
Okay.
Everybody goes somewhere, people say, well, where are we? And I go, doesn't matter. It's, I go, well, over here, we're in three towns. So if you walk around the crosswalk, we're in three towns.
I had been in Davenport before, and I moved there in 2012, and driving around with a realtor because I had to live in the city of Clyde trying to find a house, and I'd be going like, oh, that house looks nice. I'm sorry, that's in Windsor Heights, or that's in West Des Moines, and I could not figure out the borders for.
Let me guess, you still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, it's still, yeah, you still gotta look. I check by how the mailboxes are constructed, then I know where I'm at.
I was like, I was the one, Tama Toledo, I would only have to look at the power lines that went across.
Oh, okay, they changed, okay,
So speaking of Windsor Heights, I work for the Colby family.
okay.
So Windsor Heights is like, yep, that's you, take that, I know who that is, that's a cousin, that's a grandson.
Mike used to work for me,
Oh, he did?
yeah, Mike Colby, now he's up in,
You mean the young Mike Colby? Not
yeah,
your dad,
well,
Mike
it depends what you consider young.
He's not super young anymore.
No, he was,
When he was a patrolman,
Yeah. He was a Clyde police officer, and he left, yeah, he left to go up to Clear Lake. Yeah, he's the chief in Clear Lake.
Really?
Yeah.
So, when Charles Colby was slowing down, his son Chuck always said, Mike, and I managed that.
Okay, good.
Mike, you're my dad.
Yeah,
He was my director, who I reported to, my boss.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he's doing well up in Clear Lake.
I like that area.
Yeah. Yep. It's been good to me.
No.
Someone said, but you need to go downtown. I said, "In 5 minutes." They're like, what do you mean? Trust me, go to the streets and that.
Oh, yeah.
But that was back. Well, you got money any other time.
Makes sense what you've done.
And they're on list.
So are you,
So I retired.
That's great.
You're out helping in the yard?
So.
If we were for it,
You got to reschedule this.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Occasionally we have a special meeting. And just depends on where it is. But they should
I
put them
I
up.
see public comment.
I mean, that might be a comment.
where their hard work?
Jokes are really that interesting, but I'm glad you come. Very good. Anytime, give me a holler if you have questions. I love it. I'm not sure so good. Are you doing well in the world? Okay, when I had mine, I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, fine. Yeah, a little bit.
Just talk to you.
They were my lips that I hadn't been able to see before. My eyes, like, okay, I can see one. I'm glad you had it right well.
And then this was June 18th.
Okay. Isn't that sweet, sweet. And how are you?
it's great.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Actually, like, physically in there.
How are you been doing?
Good, how about you?
Mike?
Yeah, I already talked to him.
Oh,
I know, that's good. Mr. Mayor. Yes. Shane Brown's trees.
I just saw it, it's on my.
We'll go back.
If it's your property and it's the property owner, we can see more. That's the two of you and cross. Is that your? Are you gonna go? Or the trade? Can we sit in on it?
How's the garden going?
It's a struggle. Which garden? Today?
No, I don't. I was still at the county, they came down. I got my name. Where's your garden?
She has a kids on her end that do it. If you wanna go broke, contract bring in apple trees for $100. It's in the middle of the winter, they don't have anything else to do. So,
She hangs in there. I almost
no,
stopped.
she's really, really tough. And this Shedley crop, most apples aren't there. Probably less than one. And then this week they came in and pulled these. Yeah,
Thank God for that.
yeah, 2002, 2004. This is 20-some years later, things changed. So there's two stocks. She's got 30 days. Well, she's a little bit. She's good.
I know, it's. They're not like.
It's out of town.
It's my extent.
Friend and family, but she goes, she charges no insurance. Like, she pulled her dog. Well, she goes, but it says, yeah, I don't know how that happens. You can raise your hand.
So you just don't say anybody has to come. He'll read the big disclosure.
I'm here just to say.
I call to order the Marshalltown City Council. We are at City Hall Council Chambers. It is 10 West State Street. It is June 8th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. Would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
One nation, under God, indivisible,
Thank you. Can we have roll call, please?
Cahill.
Here.
Fonseca.
Here.
Mitchell.
Here.
Nichols.
Here.
Schneider.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Yepes Gomez.
Here.
Full house, good deal. Okay, let's move on to public comment. Members of the public may make comments on any item that is not on the agenda at this time. The speaker shall approach the microphone and state their name and address. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes unless a longer comment is authorized by the mayor. The speaker shall direct comments to the mayor and the council as a whole. The mayor and council may provide a response to a public comment, but shall not engage in a discussion or debate on items raised by members of the public. No action may be taken on items raised in public comments to comply with open meeting laws. With that, the microphone is open.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Poole, and I've lived in Marshalltown for a long time. I have a question. On 4th of July, why is everything down in the west part of town and nowhere else? I know that's where the veterans home is. I know that's where things are, but there's a whole town, and we have different parts of why the parade is not all downtown in, like either on State Street or Church Street. I was wondering why.
For information, the city itself does not put on the 4th of July celebration. That is put on by the 4th of July committee.
Okay, but why can't they make it so that it's for the whole town and not just the west part? There's a whole 3/4 of a town. And yeah, we can all go down there, but it's going to be packed.
You would have to ask that organization.
I just think it's wrong. I mean, you have homecoming, and there's a homecoming parade. You have Oktoberfest, there's an Oktoberfest parade. This is 4th of July. It's 250 years that this country's been in, and now we have one part of the town that is included and not 3/4. I was wondering why. I think they should have it where it can go down either, like I said, I know Main Street is all chopped up, but there's also Church and State, which we could do. That was my question.
Okay, thank you.
I still think it's wrong. And I think you might want to approach it to the council to say that they could make it bigger that it could be progressed along. You have a month. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lee Botter, 401 Orchard Drive. As the co-founder for Splash for Life, we wanted to say thank you to the community, and I want an extra thank you to go out to Heather and Kelsey for helping our long-term dream and vision happen with the opening of the Abgar Family Water Plaza this past weekend. We enjoyed celebrating the newest community addition. Our Splash project has been a marathon starting back in 2012 after the 4 children drowned in the Iowa River. The anniversary of this tragic loss is coming up soon, so we need to remember the children and their families in our prayers. The vision we were given was to bring a splash pad to Marshalltown that would provide children of all ages and abilities with the opportunity to have safe, free, and accessible water play. It was to be a place to bring our community together and honor the children. After handing the baton to the team, then Councilman, now Mayor Lottie Huff, put together, the look and focus changed, but the ultimate mission did not. I will not get into the details of our journey, but the journey was filled with thousands of volunteer hours, which included tears, laughter, failures and successes, and many lessons learned. Lessons learned include, God does give us dreams, but we must have the faith and tenacity to see them through. We must have patience because good things do happen to those who wait. God's timing is always the right timing. God will use whatever means and whomever He wants to accomplish His goals for His purpose in our community. All of us should remember and apply these lessons learned to challenges we are facing in our personal lives or in the community. I do encourage you as a council to lead by example by being wise, kind, humble, and embrace the golden rule. This was my heartfelt thank you that I wrote before learning of the vandalism that happened at our new water plaza over the weekend. I was dismayed and angered by the actions of a few. My frustration and following response is consistent with literally hundreds of responses I have read online. I encourage our council to be wise and not turn a blind eye. I've read our ordinances, and there's several potential infractions of our ordinances. I don't mean to sound harsh, but please identify the vandals, give a citation, and assess penalties. One of the penalties I think that if we could enforce, give them community service, clean our parks, pull the weeds. Please hold them accountable. The Water Plaza and other community features are for all of us to enjoy, but individually we do not have the right to infringe upon or destroy property that is not ours. If we want a better tomorrow for Marshalltown, we must step up and take care of our city now, including the newest addition to our park system, and thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Anyone else?
Gary, Mike, guys. Joe Darter, 2225 Main Street, West Main Street Road. I don't really live in the city, but I run what's commonly known as the chicken farm. I raise chickens and ducks. And I'm here tonight not to speak for myself, but to speak for Kelly Mason, sole owner of Appleberry Farm at 2402 West Main Street, who has been given it's not really a citation, but an ultimatum. She has chickens on her property.
Can you speak into the microphone, please?
She has chickens on her property. You get everything? So, 30 days to remove the chickens. And she's had conversations with Clayton Ender, and Clayton's listed out the rules and procedures and alternatives, which doesn't seem to be very open-ended. Seems to be pretty closed, with history involved. And the history is something that I'm kind of a history buff, and being from the west side of town, and I know why the parades start down there. But her land used to be ag. It's taxed as ag. My grandfather lived at 201 13th Street, corner of 13th Street in Boone. He had pictures of the land behind him. It's all fields. And the city's moved out and has taken over those areas. As you go up the hills, Brentwood Drive and Brentwood Place, that was all apple orchards before. The property right across from Appleberry used to be a city amusement park. The foundations of swimming pools and swing sets are still there. You guys change the future by your decisions. She kind of stays the same. So in Clayton's words, he just said, don't look good. Find out from the mayor, council, is there any appetite to help this widow out? She brings people from out of town, and I volunteer there. I give the hay rides. People come to see the animals. And when I drive by the turkey cage, I say, hey, anybody can talk turkey? And I go, 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 go! And the turkeys answer back, and all the kids start having fun. She's taught the ducks to play in it's Braddy Creek that goes down through the soldier's home, and they play in the creek, and they keep the weeds down. And like the mustard parsnip, that's a poisonous plant, they keep it down and keep it open. And people can walk across the bridge she made and see them playing there. It's all part of her little business. And it comes now, during the times there's no apples. And without that, she probably couldn't stay alive. Not to mention, I sell her chickens and ducks. And not only me, I got Jake Jakey and Al Edler and Eric Edler and Larry Fonts. They all sell eggs through her. And they all buy feed from the co-ops and stuff and Tyson's. So one little ripple keeps going across this economy. That 27 years ago, when you guys decided this, Appleberry didn't exist. Now she's 5 acres short of an ag variance, whatever.
I'm going to
Unless-
need you to finish up.
Unless you guys have an appetite to help Kelly Mason out in some form, some way, and let her know it's worth the $500 application fees that you guys charge, or she'll go out of business. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, Joe, I haven't seen you since elementary school.
Junior high school, Mike.
Okay. You haven't gotten any better looking, neither have I.
You're the same.
Okay. Is that it for public comment? Okay, let's move on to mayor, council, and administrator comments. Does anyone have any comments?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say something, please.
Sure.
What Lee Botter touched upon, the ribbon cutting, the grand opening of the Water Plaza, was well attended. The son found my bald spot and worked on it the hour we stood there and listened to all the speeches. But what I didn't hear in the speeches, there was a lot of thank yous of the 6 speakers that talked. They thanked a lot of groups, they thanked a lot of people. But as a member of the council, I want to thank you guys in the audience, because the people that weren't thanked were the taxpayers of Iowa and the taxpayers of Marshalltown. The Iowa taxpayers are the ones that it was their money that was the grant from the Iowa Department of Economic Authority. The taxpayers in Marshalltown, it was your money that the council allocated to this. So I just want you to know that personally, I'm thanking you for your contribution to that water plaza. So thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Anything from you, Carol? All right. Let's move on to the consent agenda.
You have one report here.
Oh.
under- yeah.
Sorry. Iowa Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, ILEAP.
Chris Jones, Chief of Police for our Police Department. Thank you for not cutting me off. I just want to thank the mayor and council for giving me an opportunity to have a small presentation here about an accomplishment that we have within our department that we've worked really hard at figuring out a way to be able to legitimize our department and prove to the public and the state of Iowa that we're on the leading edge of best practices in law enforcement. And to start out, I would like to introduce a retired Clive Police Chief, Michael Benema. He's the director of the Iowa Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, or ILEAP.
Thank you, Chief. Mayor Ladehoff, council members, and citizens of Marshalltown. Tonight, we celebrate an important milestone for your community and recognize the outstanding work of the Marshalltown Police Department. Your police department has voluntarily undertaken and achieved accreditation through the Iowa Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, a challenging process that reflects a deep commitment to professionalism, transparency, and continuous improvement. This is more than a certificate. It's a recognition of excellence in modern policing. Accreditation ensures that the department follows current professional standards, delivers law enforcement services effectively and efficiently, and reduces risk and liability for both the agency and its members. The process formalizes key management procedures, builds staff confidence, and strengthens public trust. It also provides an outside, independent validation that the department is meeting high standards and is committed to ongoing evaluation and improvement. By earning this distinction, Marshalltown Police Department demonstrates that it has a strong set of written directives, welcomed outside critique, and is committed to regularly updating its policies and procedures. Chief Jones, Captain Weekly, and all members of the department, your professionalism and dedication reflect great credit upon this city. On behalf of the Iowa Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, congratulations and thank you for your commitment to your profession.
Thank you. You want a photo? Is that okay?
Yeah. Where would you like us to be? All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I've often said that our police department is probably one of the best in the state, if not the best.
Very much appreciated. Before we get done here, I want to get an opportunity to show my appreciation for Captain Weekly and her effort at achieving this accreditation. Being in charge of our policy management, quality control for a number of years within our department, many times we find ways to recognize police officers that are on the street doing those wonderful things, but kind of overlook some of the the works that are being done behind the scenes to make sure that we're showing appreciation for everything that they've done. In this process, Captain Weekly has been able to analyze every one of our department policies, which is in the hundreds of pages long, and been able to verify not only the fact that we have those policies and the best practices of law enforcement in the state of Iowa, but that we're actually doing those things by accounting for and recording the actual activities that we do within the department that support those procedures. And it was a huge task. It was a huge task when I gave it to her after her promotion last year. And small story, but coming from the chief of police, this was one of those tasks where I had went into her office and I said, hey, we need to look at doing something. And she said, anything that you want, I can help you. And I said, well, this is the first lesson that we really technically means you. And she stepped forward, did everything that she needed to do, and did a wonderful job. And in recognition of that, I would like to provide you with a certificate of commendation. Captain Weekly is in charge of our employee awards committee. So we went above and beyond to be able to provide this. But the award says the Marshalltown Police Department thanks you for your outstanding service and administrative work in establishing the requirements set forth by the Iowa Law Enforcement Accreditation Program, or ILEAP, to secure the agency's certificate of accreditation, which we received on May 15th of this year. Your hard work and attention to detail has helped ensure that our agency adheres to contemporary best practices within law enforcement, in the law enforcement field in the state of Iowa. And I want to thank you very much for your work. You want to say something?
I just want to thank everybody. I think this is an important project. For one, I know one of the things Chief Jones and I both agree on is we want to have as much transparency as we can in our department. This is one of those steps, having a complete outside agency coming in and looking at our policies and making sure we're actually following those policies. So thank you very much.
Okay, moving on to the consent agenda.
Move to approve, Your Honor.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please. I'm too fast.
It's catching up here. Peter Slow. Mitchell.
Yes.
Nichols.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Yepes Gomez.
Yes.
Cahill.
Yes.
Fonseca. Yes.
Okay, moving on to resolutions. G.
Resolution accepting bid and authorizing the award of contract for the 2026 street rehabilitation project, HMA project number STR 26002 in the city of Marshalltown, Iowa, in the amount of $1,766,983.90 to Nats Inc.
Move to approve.
Second.
Heather.
Good evening, Heather Thomas, Public Works. We had very good bids. We had 3 bids, which is really good for asphalt work here in Marshalltown. We are recommending award of the base plus alternates in the amount as stated by the city clerk. We are hoping to get this project underway relatively quickly. We have scheduled a pre-construction meeting for this Thursday. And we will also be looking at, through change order, adding some additional streets with the additional based on the bid prices. So with that, I would ask for a approval this evening.
Does anyone have any questions for Heather? Anything from the public?
No question, Your Honor, but I have a comment. Heather, thank you you and your team for your work on this. It's exciting to see us move forward on getting work on our streets. I mean, I think you've got a good list here. You did a lot of work to make sure that it's vetted properly. The PCI study that went into that you worked through, all those things show that, we are moving forward getting streets in Marshalltown.
Your Honor, Heather, I don't think you said it, but just for the public record, it's $650,000 under what we expected, so that's fantastic. I just want everybody to know if you didn't have a chance to read the agenda.
Anything from the public? Roll call, please.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Okay, moving on to discussion items, JBS Alley vacation request.
Good evening, Heather Thomas, Public Works. This evening, we are bringing you an item to request the vacation of a portion of alley. In your packets, as it pulls up here, there is a dead-end alley over by the JBS facility east of 8th Ave, and that area has had some individuals utilizing it for purposes that it was not intended for. And JBS has approached the city and requested that we go ahead and vacate that alley. Once vacated, they are interested in purchasing it for the $250 that we're able to do that through our city's sale of surplus assets. And we are recommending going ahead and approval of this. We have reached out to utility companies and are coordinating through any necessary easements retained for that.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Heather, just clarify that the 2 property owners, the back of their properties, you have reached out to them?
Yes, our Housing and Community Development office did reach out to both of those.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't think we should sell this to JBS. The reason being is because I contacted the adjacent property owners that are south of that, and it's the same owner for the left and the right one. And they were telling me, we were talking, and he was kind enough for me to look at his backyard, and apparently his son is camping in his backyard, and occasionally his son camps between the 2 properties, so in that outlined red area. And he mentioned that his son has been, the cops have been called on him. So I suspect it's really more of a nuisance problem. I'm not sure if selling this to JBS will do anything. It will just push the property line a little bit. And I think really the problem is the camping in the backyard. So.
Anyone else?
Your Honor.
Yes.
Heather, has JBS said are they just going to leave it as an alley? Are they going to fence it off? Are they going to pave it? What's their plan with it?
Well, they would secure it likely long-term, just as they have with the parking lot to the north of it. Right now, fires are being lit in that area. There is some brush and those kind of things. So having it under JBS's ownership, they would be willing to maintain that and secure that better to, again, move those activities further away from their facilities, which they are concerned with potential the fire getting closer to the items that they have on their campus.
And you said we did reach out to these homeowners. That contradicts what Councilman Yepes Gomez is saying, if he's getting a different story.
Yes, my understanding is that Clayton Ender did reach out to all of the adjacent property owners.
Question, Heather. Wouldn't it be a matter of, if we're going to vacate it, them having the option to buy it? And if they didn't want to buy it, that wouldn't be contrary, would it?
The
How is that
process would
done?
be vacating first, yes, and then the option to deed it to an adjacent property owner.
So that's the question, not is it being used? The question would be, do they want to buy it?
That is correct.
Marco, do you know if they want to buy it?
What they told me is that they'd be interested, but their primary language is Spanish, and they were passive aggressive about it, so they didn't really care if JBS bought it or not. But the point that I'm trying to make is that those adjacent property owners, I think it's the camping that's kind of enabling these issues that are happening between the two properties.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
And I come back between the two of you. Do we feel this is more of a nuisance area that can be resolved with working with the homeowner? Or is it something that we need to do the takeover from the industrial site, the JBS site, to ensure their safety? Is there an alternative method to ensure the safety of the JBS property rather than selling the alley to them? That is my question, and I don't know the answer to that, and so I guess I'm asking that maybe we delve a little deeper to see if there is another option for that.
I believe that first responders or police and fire did respond to the area when the concern was addressed. The individual was not there at the time that they arrived on site. They did extinguish a fire, I believe, at one point. So there's been an unattended fire, it sounds like. And so this is what JBS has asked us to be able to do. At this time, they are unable to utilize like a trespassing charge because they don't own the alley. That was one alternative that an officer had mentioned to the JBS staff who asked for it to be addressed, but they can't do that unless it is under JBS's ownership and not the alley ownership. But our nuisance officer through Clayton has had some conversations trying to address this, and like I said, as well, the police department has been involved.
Your Honor, one more follow-up.
Sure.
Have the issues been addressed in Spanish with the homeowner? Are we using an interpreter to make sure that our point is clear or that JBS's point is clear?
I was not personally the one that was making those communications, so I would need to defer to the Housing and Community Development. I know the city clerk was on some of those emails as well, but I don't know that either Alicia or myself have those answers. I'm looking over at Deb real quick to see if Deb is aware.
I'm not aware.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I guess what I would interject here is, can you come back to us with something in writing? Take one of our staff members that we pay to translate, talk to this property owner that owns the two properties, let them know that I think we're in agreement to vacate the alley, but I want them to have a chance to purchase it too. And getting to the nuisance side of it, if there's a nuisance violation, that's a nuisance violation. I don't think JBS taking over this alley is going to stop them cutting across the neighbor's yard. And so that's a separate issue. My issue is we need to communicate with them where they clearly understand that they would have an option to buy this property also. Is that doable or not?
Yeah, I'm happy to request some additional follow-up, and like I said, I can't tell you for certain right now whether Spanish was offered to that individual, but I would, if you're okay with a vacation, and the concern on your behalf is just making sure that all property owners have that opportunity, we'll make sure that that's the case. And if that is the case and they're not interested in the alley, which was my understanding from Clayton, then we'll proceed with JBS, and if they are interested, then we would bring back a resolution to be able to split that alley to both parties.
Mr. Mayor, do you need that as a motion to direct staff?
Yes.
Then I would make a motion to communicate with the adjoining property owners. We are going to vacate the alley, but I want to make sure that all adjoining property owners have an opportunity to have their say in if they want to purchase it. And then that's a whole nother process then, if we have multiple bidders, correct?
It would not be bidders in this case because of a landlocked parcel, but yeah.
The only thing I would say about that is I think,
Second.
Okay.
there you go. The only thing I would say is that I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, this discussion started because there was camping and campfires. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that in here, I think what the problem, the culprit that's creating these problems is the camping of the sun in the backyard, and it's attracting, the bad influences. So I'm not necessarily sure, again, that even if we sell to JBS, like the root problem is going to go away.
Can I ask a question, Counselor?
Yeah.
Why doesn't the son camp in the backyard?
That's what?
Why doesn't the son camp in the backyard?
He is camping in the backyard.
Why is the fire in the alley then?
Oh, the son and presumed partner sometimes camp in between the two fences. What's that?
Which is right
Which
now.
is a problem, yes, yes. But I guess, like, say we just sell this property to JBS, that just pushes their property line, like, next to the root problem, which is, the camping that's going on in the backyard.
Your Honor, I think the difference is it gets the fire physically further away from the JBS facility, which is, I think, what they're mainly worried about. So are they living there, or are they just recreationally camping there?
They're camping in the backyard permanently.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Heather, for the $250, is that what they gave as an offer, or was it kind of negotiated? How did you guys come about with that $250?
City policy right now has a section of it that talks about vacated alleys that are adjacent to previously vacated alleys can be offered to adjacent property owners for $250 if it's less than a quarter of an acre. Since this parcel, I want to say, was 120 by 16, or the portion of the alley is 120 by 16, that's less than a quarter of an acre. So that's how the 250 was developed.
Okay.
And that is intended to offset the cost of the city preparing the legal documents in order to vacate and deed over the alley.
Okay. And so, I was thinking it had something to do with that, with the surplus property policy. And then, so if these adjacent property owners would like to purchase it, they would be paying the $250 too, and then JBS is offering that. So like, what if they're both offering that?
Yep, if both properties are interested, then we generally take the alley that's 16 foot wide and split it 8 and 8. And so each of them would be, eligible to request the 8-foot portion adjacent to their property.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
I think we need to pursue the code violation about living in the backyard.
Thank you. Okay. Any other discussion here? And I have a motion and a second.
Yes.
Anything from the public?
Hi, Lane Peary, 20 East State Street. I spent some time reviewing the memo and looking at the parcel layout for this item. I understand that what's being proposed. It's a small dead-end alley segment about 120 feet by 16 feet that the memo says is not currently usable by vehicles and is already next to a previously vacated alley. So I want to be clear that I understand why the city is considering this request. The memo also explains that this came up after individuals are using that space for camping and fires, and there are concerns about damage to nearby property. With that in mind, the question I want to raise is not just about this one alley, but about how we approach situations like this more broadly. I have heard the perspective that the city benefits here because we no longer have to maintain the alley or carry liability for it, and I think that's a fair point. But that is only part of this picture. When responsibility goes away, ownership is also going away, and that means something that used to belong to the public is now being permanently transferred to a private entity. We save on maintenance, but we're also giving up that ownership, and those are not always equal things. Right now, the policy treats this as a surplus property with a flat administrative fee, about $250 in this case, to cover legal and recording costs. I understand the logic there, but that approach accounts for the process, not the transfer itself. What stands out to me is that this is not completely isolated. The memo makes clear that this alley is next to a previously vacated one, which suggests a pattern of small segments of public right-of-way being removed and absorbed into private use over time. Each individual piece may seem minor, but those pieces add up, and when public property is transferred to a private company, I think the public should receive more than a nominal administrative fee. I am not suggesting that as a penalty. I am suggesting it because when public space is reduced, the community should receive something in return. That is especially relevant here because this request is tied to real challenges, including people using that space because they do not have anywhere else to go. So even if the council is inclined to approve this request, I would encourage you to consider whether the underlying policy could be more intentional going forward. That could mean a different pricing structure when vacated right-of-way directly benefits an adjacent private operation, or it could mean creating a dedicated fund so that proceeds from these transfers support public needs like infrastructure or housing stability. A $250 processing fee may cover the filing, but it does not answer the larger question of what the public is owed when public land leaves public hands. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Understand that once we take it out of our coffers and put it into the public domain, that a private citizen owns it, we're going to reap the benefit of property taxes for eternity. So there's more than the $250 fee, that now it becomes private property and the city will enjoy the property tax revenue of any property we sell. So that's the big thing, is getting it back into the tax rolls. That would be my take on that. I can't speak for everybody else.
Okay, anyone else from the public? I have a motion and a second. Let's have roll call.
What was the motion? What was the motion?
Motion is to direct staff to communicate in Spanish with the adjacent owners about the vacation and give them the opportunity to purchase. Mitchell?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
Yepes Gomez?
Yes.
Cahill?
Yes.
Fonseca?
Yes.
Okay. On to our second item. Heather.
Good evening, Heather Thomas, Public Works. This item is in relation to the Miller Middle School and some construction requests that are going to be temporary during construction related to stop control and parking in that area. First of all, before I go into those, I want to let you know that anybody that was directly impacted by this, meaning that the parking change was requested in the frontage of their property, was notified. We dropped off flyers to those people, and we also put flyers on any vehicle that was parked in these two segments. And those flyers did request them to provide written comment to us ahead of time or attend tonight's city council meeting to be able to speak on their behalf. So as we go through here, first of all, maybe a show of hands. Is there anybody in the audience who is here to talk about this item? Okay, I think that makes things go a different direction as far as my presentation goes. So I'll just go one by one through each of these. First one is a request for stop control currently at the intersection of 12th Street and Lynn Street. The school district has purchased quite a bit of property on the west side of 12th Street, and their construction staging area, including their contractor laydown area, is on the west side of 12th Street. With how they are going to redirect traffic and student drop-off, they are requesting that the intersection of Lynn Street and 12th Street become an all-way stop during construction to promote pedestrian safety, and especially with the increase in construction traffic going from the east and west side of 12th Street. We are not opposed to this request. It would be temporary in nature, and it would be in place for, at this point, the request is for the 2026 through 2027 school year. I think this would probably go in effect as directed by City Council. Because it's temporary in nature, I would not ask for 3 readings and an ordinance change. This would be temporary in nature for construction. Are there any objections to this particular item?
Your Honor, may I ask for a clarification? Heather, looking at the drawing there, it looks like they come into the parking lot to where the new gym, as it has been determined, is, and families would exit onto 12th Street. Is 12th Street still 2 ways at that point?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? What's that?
We need to make a motion?
Let's head on through these.
All right, next items, we're going to go to two sections of streets where they are requesting on-street parking changes. So on this map in front of you, the first one we're going to talk about is South 12th Street from West Boone to West Lynn Street. Currently, it is alternate side parking, and they are requesting no parking on either side. So this area right here, we're talking about this section here. The school district is now under ownership on all of the east side properties. There are still some people living in those homes, I believe is my understanding, but in the long term, those are being demolished and being part of the school property. All of the properties on the west side of the street have been contacted as far as this change, requesting no parking in this block during construction. Again, that's just to aid not obstructing traffic as that becomes more of a primary area for vehicles when they're doing drop-off.
Anyone have a problem with this?
Your Honor?
Yes.
Heather, so again, it's only temporary, right, during this construction project? Okay.
That's correct. The construction project overall is through 2029. So it's temporary,
It's
but
temporary.
it's not, a couple months. It's a little bit longer than
Years.
that, yeah.
3
And
years.
again, we would not keep this closed the entire time if the school district is able to reroute and feel comfortable about opening this back up to traditional alternate parking.
So far, you're batting 1,000.
All right, let's make it 3 then. Here we go, 11th Street now, from West Nevada to West Boone Street. It's currently alternate side parking right now, and they have requested to only allowing parking on the west side and no parking on the east side. The one concern from city staff is that especially during the winter, obviously, the cars are always going to be parked on one side of the street then. They would be allowed to park there at all times. So from a snow removal standpoint, there's a little bit of a concern there. I don't think it's something that we can't overcome. There are other areas in town that are similar to that, but it's just something to be aware of. This is one of the reasons why we reached out to those property owners. So if there was a strong objection to it, they would have the ability to make their voices heard. We did not receive any written comments. And so because we didn't receive any written comments or objections from property owners, then the city is not opposed to this, with the understanding that obviously street maintenance and snow removal efforts will be a little bit more challenging when parking is allowed all 7 days a week on one side of the road versus an alternate parking configuration.
I have a question, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Heather, would the 24-hour parking still be enforced then, if it's all on one side? They're going to be ticketed if they still sit there for 3 days?
That would be more challenging to enforce, absolutely. So what likely would have to happen if that was something where somebody felt somebody was parking there for more than 72 hours, that they would likely have to chalk tires to be able to make that determination, because obviously you can't go there and physically say, hey, this individual or this vehicle is there for 72 hours.
So what you're saying is not only is you as the Public Works Director in favor of this plan, you're also waiving for this one block, the 24-hour or 48-hour no parking that we have on policy, correct?
We're not waiving anything. We're just saying that if that becomes an issue, it's going to be more challenging, more effort on city staff to be able to enforce, but not waiving it.
And then would you make this one block a snow route then, so you wouldn't have that problem in the winter?
That would not be our intent, no.
And then would this be a permit parking only block?
That was not the request that was made.
All right. And the police is on board with your recommendations, correct?
I have not talked to the chief. I do know that 2 of the captains were in the meeting with the Miller School District where some of these changes were discussed.
The only reason I'm asking is I just want the public to know that we're all on the same page here about everything. That what we say and then what you ticket, is going to be, we're all on the same page here.
Sure. Chris Jones, the Police Department. We are on the same page. Not unusual for us to have different areas of town where we'd have to chalk tires. There are areas where people end up living. Most of the time, we respond to those from a call or report, rather than just knowing that the vehicle is there. But if it's disabled, for example, we might be able to do that, but we are prepared to handle that.
Thanks, Chief. I just wanted to make sure that the public knows, here's this, that, like I said, we're all on the same page here. Thank you, Mr.
So,
Mayor.
question, Your Honor,
Go
for
ahead.
Heather. So, explain to me what 11th Street, because I've seen the buses come down 12th, and they come from down Boone, and I park along that to pick up, and then I see them turn down 12th. But 11th seems like it's kind of a weird spot for a bus route. Or why are they wanting that changed?
Yeah, they didn't give me much information as far as the purpose of the request. I can say, though, there have been some discussions during our meetings with Miller that sometimes right now alternate parking because of the change time. There are times that people are on both sides of the street. So because of how traffic may be rerouted for drop-offs, I would anticipate, and maybe assumption is not the right thing for me to do, but I'm going to assume that that's going to make some difference, making sure that the vehicles are unimpeded.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Anything from the public? So in Rick Legg and Chief Jones, we trust, right?
Here we go.
There you go. Okay, what's your pleasure?
I say first of all, I'm encouraged that Miller, we're going through the remodeling and all this construction phase in the first place, so I think this would just be supporting that effort.
I second that, if that was a motion.
Yeah, okay.
I move we look forward with this.
Second.
There's one final
You have
area.
one final
one. I was considering those two as one that we just talked to. My apologies.
Okay.
All right, 11th Street, here in the area where parking is in the center of the street. They are requesting eliminating one row of that parking, shifting over the drive lane for southbound traffic into that row of parking, putting a barrier out and moving students into the street, but protected by a barrier to be able to provide that fencing for 11th Street. As far as the city goes, no objection to this. That parking is primarily for the school district's purpose. So that's what they feel is best for their construction traffic. We have no objection.
Does
So-
the motion include
I make the
that?
motion that we move forward with this.
Is that part of your original motion?
Yeah. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Anything from the public? Roll call. Roll call, please.
Fonseca,
Yes.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yepes Gomez.
Yes.
Cahill.
Yes.
Okay, that is the end of our regular session. I will entertain a motion to go into closed session.
So move.
Second?
Okay. Have roll call, please.
Cahill,
Yes.
Fonseca,
Yes.
Mitchell,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Yepes Gomez.
Yes.
Okay. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Nope, you can turn it all off. Thank you.
Get out of here. You're not special. You don't get